was going to make sure I was good on the court, on and off the court, and that I was going to be a successful person.
I felt it was important that women's and men's basketball were together. We spent a lot of time together.
And we will be MEAC champions, at some point, under Coach Nickelberry's guidance.
Delonte West, a big part of his life. Sherrod Ford played for me at Clemson. Eddie Basson played for me.
Hi, I'm Justin Faust. Thanks for joining us for another Bison exclusive. Today I have Heads Men basketball coach Kevin Nickelberry. And coach, since you've been hired in May of 2010, you've completed your first season. You've hosted 2 basketball camps, a no bullying campaign, Nick at Night, and recently you've raised the funding to refurbish this basketball office. Can you give us a tour?
Definitely. Thanks for having me, Justin. I just wanted to say that when I got hired, the most important thing to me was to build a program, just not have a basketball team. All the programs I've come from, you've had everything. You've had the basketball camps. You've had the organizational things that make up a program. And I wanted to make sure that our guys got that feeling, so it just wasn't a team. It was, we had basketball camps. We had fundraising activities. We did community involvement. We had, they felt like they were getting a degree. They were fulfilling their obligation to be a student athlete, which is very important to me. And when I took over, we had some academic issues. We weren't winning basketball games. The facilities weren't what we wanted. So my goal was to build a basketball program. And I've learned from some great guys. I worked with Oliver Purnell at Clemson and Bobby Lutz at Charlotte. I've been around some great guys, Ralph Willett at Holy Cross. And my whole philosophy was, why not us? Why not us? You see what VCU and Butler was able to do this year. And I feel that Howard has that brand that if we build a program and just not focus on a basketball team, that we build a program, we will be a force to be reckoned with. But let's walk around and see a little bit of the office. As you notice on some of the walls, I wanted to have some of the, we redid, put panels in here. When I took over, this carpet, it was for 25 years old. They had no separation from cubicles at all. There was no wording. If you look up here, there was no wording up here. That I want these guys when they're walking here every day to see the different words that make up our program: teamwork, success, heart, commitment, all those things. So I wanted them to feel good when they walked into the office. Feel like they can come in here. This was their way to get away. So you notice there's some pictures of Calvin Thompson, some of the women's team, and also in that building of a program, I felt it was important that women's and men's basketball were together. We spent a lot of time together, and when I took over, I moved women's basketball from the across the street. We moved together because it's a family atmosphere. We travel a lot, we're together a lot, and we're going to build this basketball program together. We're going to build back this Bison Nation so people start to get excited. Okay. So you notice some of the walls. You walk down here, especially on this wall right here, Justin. This is some of the things we want to do in the future. We want to have a real locker room. See, these guys, when they spend so much time in the locker room. With this, we use this office as the starting point, the jumping point. This is where the feeling we wanted to get. But eventually, this summer, we want to get a locker room where they spend a lot of time in there. We want to get a lounge area for those guys to feel like they can have a lounge area where they can go to when they're to do some studying, so they don't have to leave the confines of Bird Gymnasium. If you notice here, some things probably a little bit down the road, but this summer we definitely we're gonna get the locker room done and the lounge area done so that these guys feel like they're part of a program. You're gonna hear me use that word program a lot, Justin. That's important to me. I've been around a lot of program builders, and you have to build a program. You have to make them feel like we can do the same things. Why? When you say why not us? I'm asking them to do what they're supposed to do in the classroom, on the basketball court. I need to give them this reciprocal feeling that we're doing our part and making them feel like there's no difference between here and American University. There's no difference. It's the same thing. We're building towards that. We're obviously not there yet, but we are taking steps. We're taking big steps in the right direction.
But Coach, how do you plan to get the funding on something like this so soon as the summer?
Well, there's, Dr. Rabeau has been a huge part of this. Our new athletic director, Skip Perkins. Dr. Rabeau made a statement a couple months ago that he's supporting athletics 100%, and he's done that. Our new AD has been great with going in. So they're in the process now of securing funding. I feel like probably by this summer we'll start breaking ground for the new locker rooms and all that this summer. So, you know, you got to have support of the administration, and they've been 100% behind me and behind women's basketball, and I'm sure they're doing the same thing for all the other sports, and our new football coach, my man, Flea Harrell, as well. So if you walk down here a little bit, down this hallway, we'll come back to here later, Justin, but I want, eventually, probably sometime this summer, if you come on the front of Georgia Avenue, it doesn't look real appealing right now, so we have a plan in place right now, and we're going to change the front of the building on Georgia Avenue, so that it says Howard Athletics, different figures of different sports, to make it look real appealing. So when you come down Georgia Avenue, you know you've walked into Bison Nation. So this is eventually going to be the door you come into to walk into our building. And I want, when you walk in our building, to feel like, if you come from this direction, I want you to feel like you have walked into a basketball office. We're going to have gold plates with all the guys' jerseys up here by probably this summer. It's up here, the women and men, so that when you walk down this hallway right here, you feel like, oh man, I'm walking into an office. I'm walking into history, because Howard has a proud history people tend to forget about. We used to win championships all the time. That's why I came back here, because of the history. This is my first Division I job 17 years ago. And it's left, the losing here is the last time I've lost in the program. So it left a taste in my mouth where I wanted to come in and do the Why Not Us. So if you walk down this hallway, Justin, you notice you got some great players here, some Larry Spriggs and Ratliff and all the guys who won championships. You see some afros here and some Jerry curls and all that. But you know, there were some champions. I want people to feel like when you walk in here, this is where we're going. This is the road we're taking towards championships. Now, if if you read the bottom of it, a lot of people don't see that, but at the bottom it says, "A past to remember, a history to celebrate." You know, so you walk down this hallway. I want this to be the hallway of champions. All right, this is our hallway of champions. This is one of the first things. It's everything. You notice everything's in black and white, just to give a feel of the history. You know, this is vintage. Vintage, yeah. So this is. You know, when you walk through the back area, this is the little hallway here. So that now, when you walk into the office, your first look up here is at the Wall of Fame. I needed to give honor to the people who gave me an opportunity to be here. My parents went to Howard. You know, I wanted to give something where people with Bernard Perry and Milan Brown, who's the coach at Holy Cross now, and AB and Sonia Tyler and Amanda Hayes and Darlene Beal. When they walked in here, they can feel proud. They can feel proud that they were part of something that was great. And then that's what we're going back toward. Walking into this area right now, it's a big picture of my guy, Mr. Sylvester Clay. He's the one who, when I got the job here at Howard, to be blunt with you, I walked in here. It was the same office I left 17, 18 years ago when I was an assistant. And I knew that for us to just not have a basketball team, but to build a program, we needed to have an office that was definitely a Division I office, something that we can bring recruits and families, and the players can feel comfortable, and we can take that first step towards building a Division I program that was that bring us back to the respect that was necessary for Howard. And the first call I made was to Sylvester Clay, and he's not even a Howard grad, but he jumped at the opportunity to come out and help me. He was a little shocked when he walked in and saw that this was indeed a Division I basketball program when he first saw the office. But within a couple of weeks, he designed knocking walls down and making a conference room and changing the office space.
You signed 5 new recruits, 4 from the DC area. 3 of them played in the Capital Classic All-Star game. What do you expect out of those guys for next season?
Well, one of the biggest things when I got the job was that they wanted to recruit DC. This is a haven for basketball. We haven't had over one person on the team from DC in over 10 years. Whereas when I was head coach at Hampton, half our team was from DC. So you're talking about, you look at Morgan State, a lot of DC, Baltimore kids. This is a haven. We can recruit this area and be competitive. And I think beyond competitive, we can be going down that road towards winning championships. And obviously, we had a huge recruiting class. That you talking about those 3 kids. Well, one of those kids, Prince Akor from Eleanor Roosevelt, was the MVP in that game. And the other 2 guys, Brandon Ford and Brandon Bailey, played great. The other two recruits, Oliver Ellison, for us to get a 6'10" kid from Gonzaga, which is a great academic as well as athletic program, was huge for us. And Sim Fraser, he signed early with us. He's a BCS type of point guard. All of his offers were from BCS, Dayton, Fordham, Charlotte. All of his offers were from schools like that. But we brought him down for homecoming for a couple of games. He fell in love. He was probably the first Howard recruit to play in an elite All-Star game. He played in the elite All-Star game at Verizon Center a couple of weeks with, when they make those announcements, they say Nick Foss going to Maryland, so-and-so going to Florida State. And it was exciting for a lot of the Bison Nation who went to the game, for them to be mentioned in all these huge BCS schools, and for them to say Sim Fraser going to Howard University. And he had played great in that game. He's going to be a great impact freshman for us. So all 5 of those freshmen are going to be impact freshmen for us. And we had 2 transfers. One of the transfers is a local kid from T.C. Williams in Virginia who started sometime at Tulsa for 2 years. He was a very good player at Tulsa. He's going to be one of our better players as well. And another young man transferred from Coastal Carolina from the 757 from Virginia. So either, we're going to recruit really well in D.C., in the Virginia area, and we're gonna change the mentality and the mindset of this program slowly but surely.
Foremost, we get the job done in the classroom. We have a very strong GPA for a men's basketball program. Our APR continues to rise, and you can tell by the product we put on the court that every game they get better and better. With the recruiting class we have, with the young man we have coming back, we look to see ourselves at the top, and look to see ourselves at the top on a consistent basis.
I think whenever you're building a men's basketball program, and there's so many components involved, especially in 2011 as we move forward. And I think family is a very important part of that, especially when you're dealing with young men nowadays who are very impressionable. And that's one of the things I noticed that is an integral part of the maturation of Kevin Nickelberry. His family and wife and children play a great part in the things he does with the men's basketball program. So that gives him that balance, because at the end of the day, the wins, the losses, the frustration, you have to have someone to give you that balance and somebody to go home and listen to and keep life on a balanced level. And that's what family does.
What it means to have Coach Nickelberry as our head men's basketball coach is changing, building student ambassadors. Growing young men and building a strong basketball program.
We have to teach them more than just playing the sport that they've signed a scholarship to perform. We have to do other things that give them a sense of who they are as they move forward from this experience of athletics. Another thing I think that Coach Nickelberry, he's a very good organization and putting out his vision. You have to have people that you surround who can share that same vision with you. And and Coach Keith Cotrea, his assistant coach, I haven't seen many coaches at this level in terms of assistant coaches over the years who have the organizational skills to do those things that the head coach is not able to do because he has other responsibilities. I'm talking about director of basketball operations, making sure all the schedule is straight, getting film, scouting, and things like that. And to that end, Coach Cotrea does an outstanding job, as well as Travis Lyons, who is locally from DeMatha and whom I've known since he was 12, 13 years old. He's been out there and learned his craft as an assistant coach in terms of recruiting, and so he brings that to the staff as well. And Antoine Gafer and Osman Bangura as well. It's a very good staff. They all work very well together. They have an understanding of what's required of them to help build a program, because that's what this is all about. Building a program, it requires people on the same page working together and trying to achieve those goals.